So I can start with good news. And the good news is that what we talk about is very, very simple. That means it's as simple that there's nothing to gain. There's nothing to get out of this, or nothing to reach, or nothing to understand, or to lose, or to integrate, or to heal, or to anything. Basically, what is pointed to is that what happens, or what apparently happens, is just everything. It's just already everything. And there is nothing to additionally reach or realize in there. This is everything, and it's just whole and complete naturally. So every idea of an additional realization is just an illusion. It has no reality at all, and the need to find something additional also has no reality at all. Apparently one could say there can be that illusion. That's neither right nor wrong. It can't be prevented, but it has no reality at all, even if that is what apparently happens. So, in that sense, this event, or what we talk about, is not a teaching. Because if this is everything, I can't tell you anything for an additional realization. In that sense, this is not a teaching. I can't teach anything. There is nothing to learn, and there is no one to teach anything, and there is no one who needs to learn anything. All of that would be part of the dream, and what I would refer to as the dream here in that event and how we talk today is the sense of I am, the sense that I am someone, and the idea that I have to additionally find some fulfillment or realization or a key to fulfillment or the answer. This whole assumption would be part of that dream of I am. So this whole thing is regarded, as it's a story, is regarded as the dream or as an illusion. But even that is a story, because when I say that's an illusion, it actually means that it's not even something that's there. So in that sense, me is not even an illusion. So when I say me is an illusion, it basically means that there is no me. It's just not there. There is nothing that has a substance that is there. In that sense, again, this is all there is, and there is nothing to additionally reach or get or gain out of this. It's naturally whole and complete. Sitting in a room is naturally whole and complete. But, and that's maybe the interesting thing for the me, so to speak, it's whole and complete for no one, which means that there also is no additional experience of this being whole. It just is whole, but no one notices it. Because exactly the noticing of it, or the assumption of a noticing of it, would be the additional realization, which again has no reality at all. So all of this, I understand, all of, I can see it, and all of it, it's this, would be illusory. It's completely illusory and not needed at all. Sitting in a room doesn't need this, I'm whole actually. It doesn't need that at all. It's just the illusion of self-awareness. It's just the illusion of I am something, which desperately longs for this additional, but I have to see it. But I have to become fulfilled. Nothing else does that. No chair does that. No room does that. No cushion, not anything. No thought, no feeling lives in the dream of needing something else. It's just this sense of, this notion of self-awareness, this notion that I'm something. Liberation, which is a strong word because liberation doesn't exist, but liberation, as we talk about today, would be just the breakdown of that experience of I am someone. It would be just the end of that, for no special reason. Not because it's right, not because it's something that is worthwhile to achieve, but liberation in that sense, it's just the end of that setup, and automatically the end of that additional need. And the surprise is, one could say, for no one, exactly what I started with. What is, sitting in a room, is just naturally whole and complete and doesn't need anything. This doesn't need any additional realization, so to speak. And that's the simplicity. It simply is like that, one could say. Nothing has to be done. Nothing can be done. One could say, seen from the me, it's an impossible message, because it's impossible to do. It's impossible to realize. It's impossible to additionally see it. In that sense, it's an impossible message. But it's impossible to reach by it already simply being it. That's the simplicity. In that sense, I've nothing to say. There's no one to help. This is it. Thank you. Yeah, meanwhile I start where others end.
It's a talk that starts at the end, or that's very unusual.
One could say so, yeah. Beginning and end falls together. Which could be another description of it is and it isn't. It's beginning and end at the same time. Or one knows afterwards as much as before. Nothing happened.
But something has to drop away.
No.
No.
No, in the end, not. I mean, that's still coming from the assumption that there is something there in the first place. So, seen from the me, this is just another something has to happen for me in the end. So, for the me, the dropping is another something that has to happen. And then it's good. But this would be part of the dream, because in the end there is even nothing there to drop, which has to drop, or which can drop. So that's a story too. Another thing that me can wait for.
The me has to drop.
Yeah, but for the me to drop, it would need a me. And there is no me. That's why I meant, when I say me is an illusion, it actually means that there is no me. There isn't even an illusion that has to drop. Or the idea that there is an illusion already is part of the illusion. There isn't. There's nothing there that could drop or should drop. That's the good news. But there's also no one who can be convinced. So
yeah, I just want to say, you, also this this body there has the clarity about this.
No.
No?
No, there's just no one there. But there is no clarity about something. So.
But it sounds convincing when it comes from this position.
Yeah.
There is no one there that knows that, or
One could say so. I mean, maybe that's what looks convincing, that there's just no one there. But it's not coming from a knowing. It's not something that someone knows.
yeah, I can
In that sense.
sense that, but
But of course, it's in a way one could say it's an honest answering, which comes from no place, but it's not lying or selling a concept or something. No, there is no one. But of course, me might turn that into, or me can think of that is that it is another experience. You know, that here is someone who somehow knows this, or is clear about
yeah,
that, or
that's
something like
how
that.
It looks like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the only way me processes. Because that's what exactly me consists of. I'm someone, and I experience something.
And I have to get this somehow, or to understand it, or to
Exactly. Something has to happen.
then, or
And then, exactly. Then it'll be good. Then it'll be all good. For me.
yeah, then I can lay back and
Exactly.
the search
Exactly.
ends or something.
For me. Yeah, exactly. And that's what me is assuming. What liberation is. Personal fulfillment. An experience of when everything is just good for me. When everything feels right for me. Forever. Yeah.
That's the dream.
It doesn't exist, exactly.
It's not a reality that has to be.
Oh, not at all. It
Yeah.
completely doesn't exist. And all me consists of, so to speak, is the illusion that I'm here now, and that at some point in the future I will find. That's the me. It will never find. What it longs for will never arrive. It's just the whole setup is I'm here, and I hopefully will find the real thing one time in my life. Yeah. And that's the dream. The dream is that I'm here now, and the dream is that I will find something. No, nothing will ever be found. There's nothing to find. And the whole idea that I need to find is a dream. It's part of that dream. Yeah. That's not wrong, one could say. Even the dream is not wrong, but it is what it is. A dream, so to speak. Or not real.
I have to ask again, although
Yeah.
I asked this already once. From this position or whatever you've done, you say there is no experience.
Yes,
Nothing is experienced.
yes.
Can you say again what does it mean? There's no experience. Because I would say I'm experiencing. I'm here now, and go home and have a coffee.
Exactly. That is what the life of me, so to speak, looks like. Or one could say all me knows is to only experience. And exactly that would be the separate thing. That I'm here, I'm something that's here, and I only experience a room and other people.
And from your side, when you are
Exactly. So when there is no one, there is no from my side. There is not the experience of only experiencing.
there's only what is then? A
Exactly.
room?
You can't say that. No, you don't know.
It's, yeah. undescribable somehow.
Exactly. But not because there is someone who can't describe. It's basically because there is no one there in the first place
Even ask a question like this.
to even ask a question and to experience anything. Because there is no awareness here looking out there and experiencing this out there. It can't be said how it is, what it is. So every knowing how it is, one could say, is illusory. Because it's coming from an illusory standpoint.
But still there is looking.
Oh, apparently, yes. Yep.
But it can't be possessed by somebody because there is nobody here.
Exactly.
But it is happening somehow.
Somehow. But no one knows that. That's the somehow.
No one knows it.
No one knows that looking is happening. No one knows that sitting in a room is happening.
That's for me, from this point, kind of difficult to get as not someone looking.
Oh, it's in a way it's unbelievable and impossible to get, because the only thing that the me knows is I'm here and I'm looking from here to over there. And because I'm here to look and to experience, of course I know what's going on. Because I'm here to experience it. Yeah.
And now the me wants to kind of know how is it without the me.
Exactly, yeah. Which seen from the me is the only thing it can't imagine. It can't know that. Yeah.
I know clearly it can't be done. It can't be, the me cannot do anything. But still, if I would only know a little bit about it, I might have an idea. Of how
Yeah, but that's impossible.
Yeah.
It's just yeah. In that sense, liberation also is not a coming closer of the me. It's not me coming closer to something by understanding here a little bit and getting here a little bit, and it's not by getting the puzzle done.
Yeah, that this would also be a process needing time in order to get closer.
Absolutely. Okay, that would be the one thing, and just that it's something that has something to do with the me, in order me getting something. But it's just the end of that.
Yeah, it's out of the me totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, in a way, this is good news.
It's absolutely good news.
It takes a lot of effort and strain out of the whole idea of.
Can happen,
in a way. Yeah.
Of
in
course.
the story.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily lead to more happiness, but less stress.
Yeah, because it's still the me looking at it, doing it, or getting more relaxed. Or,
exactly, as long as, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, we started spot on. I'm sorry. I mean, this is what the me regards as life, what life is. For the me, life means I'm here and I experience something. That's life. And that's what it means to be alive, is to be here and to more or less consciously experience something. And all the seeking, so to speak, takes place within that setup. That fulfillment will be something that I, of course, can experience. It must be, because that's all I can access to experience. So of course fulfillment must be something that I will experience. It can't do differently. and it can never really question its existence. Maybe as a mind game or something. But in the end it can't question this sense of, but there is something here. So
It's the only thing that it knows.
absolutely, exactly.
So how would it be without it?
Even the answer isn't even worth something worthwhile, because
But on the other hand, it is possible that it falls away.
apparently
Apparently.
exactly. Because in the falling away, so to speak, it turns out that it was never real. It was never something that had substance. So it's not even really falling away. But well, even that is useless information.
Apparently, in the seed of this thing that doesn't exist is the reality that leads us to be seeking what isn't there, what is nothing. And you have to admit that there are certain attitudes or certain things or ways of living that, for the me, that have led you to this realization which doesn't exist, or that gives other people a chance. Or are you saying that someone who is stumbling drunk down the street can reach this realization as
Absolutely.
equally as someone who is meditating in an ashram on the top of a mountain?
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
It's perfect.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. But the only thing that I wouldn't say is that someone at all can come to this realization. So, as a story, I prefer to speak of liberation as death. Then it's much more easy, because death literally doesn't require anything. So death doesn't need meditation or drinking out. Well, but
So you're saying that this kind of like hyped idea of the first level of realization doesn't really exist. It's still more a concept.
yes, absolutely. I mean, in a way, the whole concept of realization at all is somehow
It's somehow bound to me.
exactly.
Me realizing. Yeah.
Exactly, like something which is realized and something which is not realized, and that there is a real difference and all that stuff. It would be just part of the dream. Exactly.
But even the fact that you're trying to leave some clue as using thoughts and concepts and words and language, which is of course paradoxical because it's also the barrier.
Yeah, it won't leave a clue.
It won't
That's
leave a
for
clue.
sure. No, it won't.
So basically you're saying, don't look at this, don't listen to anything I'm saying.
No, I don't
But
say even
you're not even
that.
saying
No,
even
that would be too much said.
That would be too much to say. It's a nice no clue.
Yes. Yeah, well, I could say this is an interesting thing about this event, that it's honestly about, it doesn't honestly suggest anything. It can't do that. So it can't say, listen to me, it can't say, don't listen to me. It's already happening anyway, what happens, so there can't be any suggestion. And of course the whole idea of suggestion would just be part of the dream, that I am someone, there's something to get, there's a realization or the possibility of not being realized by behaving in a wrong way. So that would be all just be the dream.
So you can't say that you can recognize someone else who's realized this realization which doesn't exist. You can't say that.
No, sometimes one hears it a little bit. If someone doesn't believe what he or she says, there's no one there. That's not a realization in that sense. There's just no one there. Which isn't right or wrong. It just would be an early death. Which honestly isn't a big achievement in the end.
I mean, just profound idea came up. How do you live when there is nobody there in this existence where you have to work to get money or buy things? When there is no me?
Yeah, well, but when there is no me, of course, the whole idea that I have to live in something called a world just doesn't exist.
Has no meaning if you are there or not, body is alive or not,
Of course not.
somehow.
No, but yes, but there is not the whole impression that there is something that has to move forward through time and space. It's just happening in a way, as good or as bad as it happens. But that would be exactly the whole idea of me, that I'm something small here, a person, this thing, which has to consciously find its way through the big world. So when there is no one, that's just...
And the sense of time, except practical time, is also not really there.
Absolutely. That something happens, one could say. That there is a real happening in time. Yes. Nothing happens. Or one could say the idea that something happens, or the experience in the end, is just bound to that illusory instance. So I have to find my way through life. Life is happening, apparently. And one could say I'm, or this thing is just happening with it. Just as everything else. As good or as bad as it does.
There is no guiding, controlling, I have to do what I want to do, and this is all fallen away.
Yes. Or one could say wanting to do things may also happen, but it's not for some additional fulfillment, so to speak. It would be just...
To get something out of this.
Exactly, yes. That would be the me, to assume something additional in what I do. To get some additional benefit out of my actions, so to speak. Yeah, that drops just with the me.
So the whole idea of living in the moment and being more aware is kind of trying to get more out of life.
Absolutely.
For me.
Yes.
To have more experience or have
Absolutely.
more profound experience.
Exactly. It's another way of how can I fulfill my actual lack experience.
Mm.
Yeah. That's why you have to... It's permanent work.
Mm.
It's not just experience the moment, it's to consciously experience it, to be aware of it, yeah, to squeeze more out of it. And of course it's just coming from a personal experience. It's just, I'm someone experiencing a moment.
Oh, it's a natural response when you don't have to worry about staying alive or that sort of stuff. Then you start to want something more intense from other things.
Oh, one could say that's when spirituality kicks in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that me trying to have even more me, in a way that, because if me realizes that at some point there is no me, it feels a little bit uncomfortable that something is missing. And
yeah, but that feeling is actually also there before. That's just how the person lives. And in a way, all the person knows is itself. Me only knows itself. and all its efforts are, in the end, to be there and to create a more fulfilled experience. So I wouldn't really say it's more and more me, but it's all about me, and about me being there, and about me confirming itself. And in a way, this whole awareness game is exactly that. Me stating all the time, I'm me, I'm there, I'm me, I'm awareness, I'm there, as the ultimate reality. It's permanently saying, I'm everything. Which is true, that's the person's experience. All the person knows is itself. But it has nothing to do with liberation or the end of me. But, yeah, the only interest of the person is to be there and confirm that existence. That's the funny thing with all those awareness teachings. It's constantly saying, all there is me, I'm the only reality, I'm most important, I'm the absolute truth.
I'm forever.
Eternally, exactly.
And if you don't get it, there's something wrong with you.
Oh, of course. Yeah, always.
Yeah.
For the me then, yeah. Because it's always bound to effort. You always have to know it, or to be aware of it, or to come back to it, and all that stuff. It can't be kept up. So there's always a feeling of, I'm not good enough yet. Because I still have to practice it, or to do it, or it's still not completely effortless, so to speak.
There seemed to be I always refer to the creed. They recommend it to read it dearly because just everything is just falling off, because the words you said that this is already complete, perfect and free, and everything comes back to that all the time. And so there's been this this release somehow that finally the search is over. Somehow there's nothing. And first it wasn't like, I was like, fuck, it can't be true. It can't be true that I don't have to work. I don't have to do any work
it's so
for it.
Unbelievable for the
It's
me.
absolutely, and this went completely crazy. It was like, they are like screaming, and then, but there was this relief and this it's just so calm, something really calm about it, that every time the me is grabbing, reaching out, there's
energy is almost immediately out.
Yeah, out. Yeah, because it can't be, and it's such an effort.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that can
There's
happen.
something like, wow, it's like this. It's like this. It's like, and no need for it to be the thought, I have to see it to believe it or something. Even that, it's like everything is just, it doesn't matter.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
And there's a lot of
and
joy.
in the end, even that does nothing matter.
No,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah
and there's just a lot of, really, it's really natural. It's not a joy for something or because there is space or whatever. There's just a blah, 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 blah,
exactly. That's and whatever.
And whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
That's the natural reality. It can't be known.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, it's almost too much. That's what apparently happens. But,
Yeah, but without effort.
Sorry?
But without effort, there's no effort.
No,
to that
there's no
either.
effort in anything.
Yeah.
No, effort is an illusion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It doesn't exist.
No.
No. Absolutely.
No.
This just effortlessly is itself.
Yes. And as soon as there is a belief of having to do an effort, it's like vomiting, it's like suffocating, it's like, and then, and then letting it go somehow. It's not believed in like before.
The energy is out a bit.
Yes.
Not because someone realized something.
No.
It's just
No,
for no
it's
reason
just-
in the
yes.
end. Yes. Yeah.
Of course, it was the creed that made this.
Of course. Thanks for mentioning
Yes. Recommend.
Yeah. You might think it's good to come.
Yeah, might. Yes.
And another thing that you once mentioned, or that comes to mind now, has also a relief effect. The me always wants to give it a meaning or a reason, and that this is for no reason is absolutely astonishing in one way.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
for nothing. It's just it is, and okay, it's gone.
Yeah.
The me wants to have a belief. It's good. It's bad. It's
Yeah.
a higher reason, a lower reason, or
I mean, it's already just a method.
it's a limitation in looking at.
Yeah, it's in a way a method. It's coming out of this experience. Oh, I experience this situation, and it's somehow unfulfilling. So the assumption that maybe it's good for something, and me can relax. That's what I mean. It's already a method. Ah, yeah, maybe it's good for my enlightenment. Okay, then I can bear it.
This me is a position and looks into
Absolutely.
this from a position and then makes assumptions about it.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and inventing a meaning is just a method to make itself feel good. And that's in a way, it's life. That's the work. How can I make this good for me? What can I do to make this whole for me? And then you have all the ideas what you're supposed to do. To analyze it, to think about it, to surrender to it, to accept it, to give it meaning, to find the right attitude towards it, to meditate, to not think about it, whatever.
Have you been called an anarchist?
Not yet, no.
Because someone could claim what you're saying, no one has to do anything. It could be interpreted as kind of anarchy.
I am saying that.
Yeah.
Yes,
It is anarchy.
This is anarchy.
It's an anarchy of consciousness, maybe, from the concept of consciousness.
But it's, yeah, of course, seen from consciousness, which assumes there to be an order and things to be real and real rules and laws and all of that stuff. All of that doesn't exist. And sitting in a room is anarchy.
Without me.
But is there a danger,
even with me.
danger that a me could misinterpret this and go and start picking things from the shop and shooting people in the street?
Yeah, but this would assume there to be a real me who is able to follow its conclusions. But of course, me will misunderstand. That's
I'm
inevitable.
going to pick up the book and...
That's inevitable, but in the end, there is no real me who could then choose to kill people. Until now, it hardly happened.
Hardly.
I just wanted to leave the possibility open that no one told me about it.
It's the least of the world's problems, I think.
What?
Somebody's going to pick up your book and then turn into an anarchist.
So, yeah.
Probably something else is going to happen before then.
I mean, you're right. It's not predictable. I can't say this doesn't happen, but in the end, it would be an illusion that there is a person who can choose, who could consciously choose to do that after hearing that message. But it could be what apparently happens. Yeah. Thinking that I said.
Interpreting.
Yeah, exactly. Assuming that I said something. Which would be a misunderstanding. And one could say the whole idea of there being meaning just dies together with the me. It's just actually coming out of this no experiencing at all. There isn't even something that is experienced. So.
I think meaning is one of the foundations, because a lot of people can't imagine making any sort of small move without giving it a meaning.
Oh, absolutely.
Always, you know, and
Yes.
when you start talking to someone, you can imagine, why are we here? There must be a meaning to all this.
Absolutely. Because the actual experience of being here is unfulfilling.
Yeah, you have to have something to support that.
Exactly. So as soon as there is the notion of there is something that's now here, out of that pretty soon, almost immediately comes the question, okay, I'm here, but why am I here?
I have to do something.
Exactly. Either I have to do something, or this must be for something, or there must be a reason for this. Because it's instantly unfulfilling.
And the game begins.
Absolutely. And out of that instant, subtle notion comes the whole seeking energy. Yes. All religion, all seeking, all ideas about what to do comes out of this. What is this about? I'm here. Why? And of course what this is saying is that this presence it doesn't exist. So it has no substance at all. But if it is what apparently happens, it feels like. And this unfulfillment feels real. Seen from the me, this notion is real. And this unfulfillment is real.
That's why it's so unbelievable to the me, I mean, because the whole world crashes down. And it's kind of scary in a way.
Absolutely. Oh yes, of course. Because in a way all me consists of is this experience of existence. It's all me has, so to speak.
Yeah.
Itself. Yeah.
Something to hold on to.
And of course, having an out there, and that's already some kind of security. That I'm here. Security. That I'm here. That there's something real out there. Something that is something. Yeah.
Position.
Oh, absolutely. Here and there.
To relate to something there.
In the end, exactly.
Relations.
Oh yeah. I mean that's part of the self-confirmation, so to speak. Because I experience you, that means there is something there, but it also means there is something here which is able to experience. So.
Subject, object.
Exactly. Which in a way is self-confirming in itself. It's a story because no one does that, but that's what apparently happens. Yeah. because I see you. I know that I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that is seen confirms. So there is someone here seeing this.
Yes.
Looking at it.
Well, it's not really that the thing out there confirms, because there is no thing out there, but the whole setup of experience seems to function like that, exactly. Because I see that, I must be there, and this must be. Exactly. And that's all me knows. It will never go beyond that. That is the me, so to speak.
And how is the me created in the end? It started in the education.
I mean, that's a funny thing. Yeah, one could say in the story, one could say it is what apparently happens for no reason. But in the end, me isn't created. It's an illusion. That there is something that is now here and has been created at some point in the future, in the past. There is no creation of the me. There isn't flat absoluteness, and at one point the me has been created. No.
So you can't
There's
say
no
that
one
the dream-
here.
Sorry, you can't say that the dream was created at any stage.
Exactly. It would be part of the dream. That there is something here that has been created. In that sense, there is just no answer to that question, because the creation of me never happened.
But it seems like there is a me. For
Yeah.
at least a certain time, maybe it stops.
Seen from the me, it seems as if I'm here and have a life. Yeah.
I mean, I can sense I have not done that, but still it is here. So somehow in this my life since birth, something happened that I experienced it like this.
Absolutely.
Until now.
Yeah, that's what apparently happens. Yeah. So you experience yourself as someone is what apparently happens.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not wrong. There is no one caught up in a dream behind it. It just is what apparently happens. Yeah, but I am someone. Okay.
But isn't dream life in itself like a proof that there can be a dream where you think that something's happening but there isn't? You wake up from a dream. In the dream you thought something was happening. Then we wake up into this dream. So it's kind of like for me that feels like there's a clue that if you can have a dream at night, sleeping,
Yes.
and then wake up and that didn't happen, but you felt like it was happening, why couldn't this also be a dream that isn't really happening?
Yeah, but this clue is totally useless.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one who now has the clue has no clue at all.
Mm-hmm.
Has a clue about something.
But I hear our friend over here is struggling with this concept that something happened, that is happening to me, something is happening to me. So, he's, at least from his questions, he's struggling with the concept that, I existed, I was born, something must have happened. But isn't a dream also like a way of kind of letting go that this I am, this am, asking these questions, continue to ask you questions. So eventually, maybe to stop asking questions is the question, how do we stop asking questions?
Oh, why would you want to stop asking questions?
Because they're a distraction?
No. Well, yeah.
Another concept.
Yeah, I mean, this whole dream and waking up in the morning stuff would be just another experience. Say, a person waking up from a real dream to a reality that's less dream or something. So. And of course, seen from the me, there just is no answer. So it's not about asking no questions, nor it's about asking questions. It's something.
So there's no waking up from this dream?
No, exactly. The waking up from this dream would just be death. But the illusion of me is that I'm here and that I can wake up into a higher consciousness or into another way of experiencing life in the end. It's just the assumption of how can I come to a better experience? And that doesn't exist. Or whatever the change is in the way of experiencing, it will be unfulfilling because it would be still someone experiencing something. So all of this waking up thing is an illusion. And of course, on the other hand, it's just seen as another personal experience, overlooking that, if you want to use that terms at all, me itself is the dream. But me waking up from itself would still be something, would still be me, somehow surviving. So there is no waking up.
There's only breaking up, not waking up.
It's breaking together.
So the dream ends, but nobody wakes up.
So to speak, yeah. When the dream ends. When there was no one even dreaming. That's why no one can wake up, so to speak.
It's like there is no death because no one ever lived.
Exactly.
That kind of sense.
Yes, oh yes, absolutely. But there is something here, having a personal, individual, autonomous life is an illusion. And of course then the death of that is an idea too. Or the death of me just comes from the assumption of that there is someone alive in the first place. But as there is no one alive in the first place, there also will not be a death of that. Absolutely.
That seems like to be the boundary of the understanding, is how can this not be real, or not even not be real, but how can this not be?
Of course. And it's the boundary is not the understanding, but it just contradicts the whole experience of me.
Yeah.
Because the whole experience of me consists of, yes, but I'm here and I experience this. How can you say that this doesn't exist?
It's like you can almost see how this is just the whole experience. But to have anything besides that or beyond that that's like
Unimaginable.
That's unimaginable.
Yeah. And if at all, it sounds like as something that's beyond.
Yeah.
Which already would be
because
part
that
of...
That assumes something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It would be something else. It's not in my realms, so it is something outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which just reflects the personal experience. But we don't talk about something that's beyond in the end.
No.
This whole idea of beyondness would be... Yeah.
That gives the idea that you can somehow walk out of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's still...
But then nothing is happening, so
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
you get enlightened, it's the same thing.
Oh, yeah,
Because
oh yeah, absolutely.
Because you've been living within this system, and when you realize it, it's like nothing changed.
Oh, nothing happens. Absolutely. There's no advantage. There's no gaining. Yeah. It never turns into something else.
So there can't be any way out.
Oh, there is no way out.
Because
Exactly.
nothing will change.
Nothing will change. Nothing has to change. Yes. That would be all part of the dream. That something still has to change. Mostly it's me, but... Or the weather, or the neighbors, or whatever. But mostly I have to change. No.
Tomorrow will be better.
Of course. That's the hope. That one day there will be the real thing. One day it'll be finally good. For me, of course. No.
So, may I ask what we could expect to come and see you again tomorrow for 4 hours? Should we continue like this, or is it worth? I don't want a sales pitch, and I'm interested. I don't need you to sell it to me, but
Yeah, there won't be much more, to be honest.
Not honest.
Yeah.
Want money back.
No, you can't even expect that.
Where's the money?
Yeah, that's the point. There's no money to give back. I mean, in the end, that's not special. Anywhere you go, you will not get anything. I mean, in other places you may get the illusion that you get something, but basically, so you can't do it right or wrong. It will be, as long as you are there, it will be unfulfilling everywhere. Apparently, of course. Not really. So, I just keep telling it. Which doesn't make it better. But.
Thus there is nothing to get, because it can't. Because there is nothing to get.
There is nothing to get.
Yeah.
That's
so
not a bad
then
thing.
you don't need hope, then you don't need trust, then you don't need... So that's free.
Oh, it's free, of
So
course.
it's... you don't have to trust, which is such a struggle, or you don't have to hope, which is such an effort.
Oh, of course, that's a prison.
Yeah.
It's painful.
Yes, it's very painful.
Absolutely. And it's of course coming from an illusory state.
Yes.
I mean, it's an illusion that there has to be something to be found here. No, not at all. So it's naturally whole and complete. Of course, that's not a bad thing. That nothing can be found.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole idea that there is something that additionally has to be found is a dream. So of course, it's already beauty and completeness, but for no one. But in the end, that's good news too. It doesn't even have to be found or be seen. It doesn't require anything. And in the end, that's the release. That's... But seen from the seeker, there's just nothing.
I see a risk that the I am can get stuck on this, using it like a tool, as like an excuse. Right?
Oh yes, it will, but it doesn't matter because it will use something as a tool anyway. And of course it will try to use that message too to make itself feel good. Yes, of course.
Crux. Like a crux. I
Absolutely.
don't have to do anything now.
Yeah, but it walks in with crutches
But it's
anyway.
Yeah.
So it will just replace those. Try to replace those. Yeah. That's just its way of living, so to speak. And of course it might assume that that is my intention, that I give you this information or this message to use it as such. Right. Won't work very well, to be honest.
You'll soon give up. You'll soon let go, I guess.
Sorry?
Try the next thing. Try the next thing. It won't work, it'll try the next thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Look for the next thing, look for the next thing.
Exactly. Thinking that it develops.
That also comes from the feeling that everything is real, and that's why you have to try new things. And to me, it always seemed like it's absurd. What's going on in the world is absurd. You know, like people, all this system of the world is kind of absurd. You know, it's not real. It's just
Yeah.
funny. Like people going to work. I don't know, having families and die.
Yeah.
How can this be real? You know.
In the end, yeah. It's all for nothing.
No, I mean it's just like seems like there's nothing behind it.
There is
It's like
nothing
a
behind.
dream.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. I mean, there is nothing behind.
Flash.
Yeah.
So
But there's nothing behind
Anything.
anything.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. This just is completely itself. There's nothing else in that, or behind that, or nothing to find in that. I mean, that's in a way something that the me assumes. That there is a deeper reality in here, or a deeper mystery, or which is in there, which is somehow hidden,
all the struggle.
that I have to reveal and to see and to understand, some bigger principle, or like God or divine energy or something like that. But there isn't. This is all there is. There's no deeper reality or meaning behind that. It just simply is as it is. And no one knows how it is and what it is, but it just is itself. Sitting in a room and being you, being me, talking, listening, and it is. Nothing behind that. It's utterly simple. By already only being itself. Yeah, but what are you saying to me? Oh, no, there's nothing in there. It isn't.
What is this being itself? Isn't that some other?
No, it's
From
not.
the me, although it looks.
Yeah, from the me, it looks like as if I'm talking about something else. As if I'm talking about something which is separate from sitting in a room. As if I'm talking about some deeper meaning. Some additional stuff that I maybe can understand.
Because something made the body, or I have not seen it.
Oh no, there's no body. Yeah, exactly. You feel it. Yeah, but you isn't real, so.
So our is not really real.
No.
No.
No. It's not something that exists.
But it happens
Apparently.
when I.
Yeah, but who knows that?
It can be felt.
Yeah, but it's coming from that separate standpoint. That knows I can feel it, so it must be real. But without that someone who feels it, what can be said about that? Exactly.
But there, when you do this.
Yeah, when you do this, yeah, when there is someone.
When you do this too.
Well, but I don't do that.
No.
Of course not. There's no experience of me doing that. There's no experience of that.
But the pressure. You feel a pressure there.
Apparently. But of course I don't, but that's what apparently happens.
Yeah. And then it disappears.
But I don't feel pressure here because I'm not touching. But pressure seems to happen, but for no one.
You must answer the question every time. Like, well, can you explain why you're doing this?
Yeah, but I'm not doing
You're
it.
not doing it, exactly.
Yeah,
How are you going to say that?
And actually, I don't answer questions.
So you didn't write the book?
Hey. But it's not that someone else wrote it. It was just...
It was already there.
Sorry?
It was already there?
No.
No,
It
it's
wasn't
not there.
It's not there.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't go that far.
I was one day watching TV where they were discussing, a few people discussing about food and how should we eat. There was some vegan, some scientist, and some different kind of people, and they were talking about how should we eat that we could feel good, enough vegetables and some proteins and so on. It was really interesting because the scientists and they were all the time promising if you do this, you feel better.
Yes.
The topic could be God or
Whatever.
capitalism or whatever. It's really same formula for the just different topic.
Absolutely.
It was really interesting to look at it. Wow.
Talking to a person
Yeah.
who is supposed to be able to consciously choose to do A or B, and that there is a real better or a real worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might still happen. Like
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
changing habits might happen,
absolutely. Yeah.
and even the
And
scientist isn't choosing to.
And it may even feel healthier. But that better is a real something that adds up to the longing of the me. That's the story.
At least it's not worse.
At least something. Come on.
A better experience.
Yeah.
The body might feel better when you eat different.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different story.
Yeah,
You're not doing it
apparently.
for experience, but you're actually keeping a diet, for example, to feel better physically. That's
Yeah, which
that has
is
nothing
fine.
to do with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and yes and no. Because of course when there is a person, the assumption is that every feeling better somehow meets the longing for oneness. But feeling better just is what apparently happens.
It doesn't
But-
have any substance in that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any substance and doesn't see, for the me, it doesn't meet that longing.
It's not fulfilling.
Not at all. No. The longing doesn't go away by feeling good.
Spiritually, I mean, like,
So
but if
No, there's always the discontent. In the end, even though you feel like a Superman, is still.
that's what I...
You need more kryptonite.
Exactly. You need more kryptonite.
I just need to practice harder.
Stuff more stuff in. And that's in a way just again part of the me, believing that better is something that's real, which has something in it. But no better really works. No better ends the seeking. It's just apparently better. Which isn't wrong, but it's also not real.
So at what stage in your apparent life did you apparently start talking about these apparent ideas? Forgive me.
When I apparently died.
Okay.
A few years ago.
A few years ago.
Yeah, I died 7 years ago. Approximately 7.5 years ago. Shortly before I became enlightened.
do you celebrate your death day?
The dying day.
No. No.
It's like a new birth.
A lot of siblings. No, that's another story. It didn't happen to me. Well, death day in that sense doesn't happen. It's a story. Me alive and me dead, it's a story. That's the great thing, that in liberation nothing happens. It's not another event that happens. So.
But the me cannot but make it into an event when it hears.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. All me knows is that something seems to happen. It only lives in something happens. I'm something that happens. This is something that happens. And of course liberation then is another something that happens. Yeah.
Even end of something happening is still happening.
Exactly. It'll still be a happening.
The end happening. The
So-
final happening.
Exactly. It will be an it that happens. Like this is an it that happens. Like I'm an it that happens.
But the me can say maybe that they came to a meeting like this when it happened, or you can probably say what you were doing, the me was doing when it happened.
No, actually no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I didn't have an event,
Mm.
so I can't even.
Mm-hmm.
No. I can't even say when it happened, or that it happened.
Mm.
There was no it happened, by the way. I can't even tell a story, so
Of course.
I'm really poor.
Don't write it in the diary.
Sorry?
Today at 3 o'clock, I died. You write it in your diary.
Today at
3 o'clock I died,
and nothing happened. Wow. Yeah. No, I wasn't writing diary at that time.
Even nothing happened. Sounds special.
Yeah.
It even
It
sounds
sounds
like
like
something.
Nothing happened. Oh, but
Yeah.
now something's happened, and nothing was happening.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, so for me, it sounds like something.
Because it's like you compare
Yeah.
how you were before and to now, so must be something happening, but
Yeah.
you cannot compare.
No. Exactly.
So
because,
if you die, nothing happens because nobody compares that.
exactly, because there is no one there to experience
Exactly.
death or to
No
experience
register.
anything.
No register.
Or registers. Absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It still sounds to me like what the me is conceptualizing as realization. It sounds like what we read about as realization.
It may sound like that, yeah. Yeah. So you think I'm a realized person?
I don't even know what that means anymore.
Yeah, very good. It doesn't exist.
You know, what is if I don't realize that I realized something?
Oh, you won't realize. There's nothing to realize. No.
But when
I didn't realize
when I-
anything.
When I hear these things, it could be that I missed that. I realized it all.
Oh yeah, of course. That's the fear of the me, to not realize. That's why it's good to stay here and be aware. In case I miss something. Better to stay awake and aware. Of course.
It's the other side of the me. So in one way it wants to get, but then when it hears this, could also be that it's missed.
I mean, seen from the me, this will be missed. Of course. I mean, that's all me exists of, to miss oneness. Because me only exists of being me. I'm only me, not every... So, of course, me will miss its own death. Of course, it won't be there anymore. I mean, that means death.
What's the Woody Allen joke? I don't fear death, but I just don't want to be there when it happens.
I mean, No one will be there when death happens.
Should worry about
That's
that.
a good news.
Truer than he realized.
It was a true joke.
It's like falling asleep. You only know when you're still awake.
Yeah, when you fall asleep, you don't know that you are asleep.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Nobody
liberation.
Word realizations sounds very personal.
Absolutely.
I think like people use it to specifically say that I realized, because
Or
you cannot say
self-realization.
world realized or something like that.
Yeah.
Self-realization.
Yeah. One could say, well, what this message would say is that there is no self that could additionally realize, but sitting in a room is the perfect realization. There's nothing else. It's 100% realized, whatever that means. This is it. But the idea that I have to additionally realize myself or realize something, it's just an idea, a dream. It doesn't exist. It will never happen. It can't happen. But it's perfect and whole already. So, for no one.
Have you been to Australia?
No.
Just having funny thoughts about how Australians would respond to
You think they would
Bloody garbage.
suddenly walking out and lose half of them. and then there'd be half that still stay. Finns are so polite. There's probably one guy, you know, bloody garbage, you know, too polite to leave.
All right. Are you speaking from yourself? Or?
You think so?
Oh, I'm asking. I have no idea.
No, I would have walked out.
Okay.
You know, I thought. Yeah, go to Australia.
Actually, I'm invited.
Yeah, I recommend it.
It's a long trip.
2 days, come on. There's more Germans there than Australians anyway. At least in the tourist areas. Like, a million Germans at any point in time.
Yeah, maybe I do, but if you say that they will leave.
Still have the Germans there. No, it's half will leave.
Yeah,
And they'll be very vocal, maybe. And then the other half will be very there and with you.
Full on.
Yeah. It's just a good filtering process. It's very honest.
Well, that's true, but
You don't waste your time.
yeah, but in times of internet, the filtering mostly happens before. So only half of them would show up.
It's true. But still, there's those few that think that there's going to be this magical words, you know,
that's
that
true.
come out again and
They're probably
there's nothing magical, no magic mushrooms. So, you know.
There probably still will be a few who don't get fooled by the video. No matter what he says, there must be something
There's
big.
going to be something there,
Yeah.
secret.
So, would you recommend me going or not?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Well,
Okay.
not really. If you want.
That's what I heard, to be honest.
It would be an experience, but then if you say there's no experience,
Of course, it wouldn't be an experience.
Yeah.
It would be what it is.
it would be what it is.
It's pointless to recommend because you're not gonna go anyways.
That's true. But it's not that I stay here.
Yeah, either. You know.
Good.
It's just-
Okay, this is it. There's nothing to get, nothing to take home with. No additional realization. It's perfect realization already. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.